It's a basketball prediction market platform. But what we did, which was different compared to the rest of the prediction market platforms, is that we're gamifying the players. We're taking the top 100 players in the NBA currently, and we are creating shares, almost like player stock.
Welcome to CoinDesk. I'm here with Tristan Thompson, basketball player, entrepreneur, man about town. Tristan, great to see you, sir.
Sam, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always. You know, last time when I saw you, I think we were in Asia, and you mentioned you had something cooking. And I know you guys just released Basketball.fun out there. Just give us like the TLDR. What is Basketball.fun? What are you guys hoping to achieve?
Yeah, no, I remember we were talking at KBW when I came on your guys' platform, and appreciate that. And we were kind of mentioning it, but now it's here, right? The show has started, lights, camera, action, and it's Basketball.fun. And the best way to describe it, it's a basketball prediction market platform. But what we did, which was different compared to the rest of the prediction market platforms, is that we're gamifying the players. We're taking the top 100 players in the NBA currently, and we are creating shares, almost like player stock, where on the platform, and it almost brings you back to that nostalgic moment. You know, for me creating this, it was like, how can I put us back in this childhood moment? Because I think, you know, everyone loves the prediction market and love that adrenaline, dopamine rush, but how can we take it even a step further with some more innovation and something new? And that's what we did in terms of creating a shares and opening packs. Remember being the kid, you know, when your dad or your grandma gave you allowance, and you went to go buy trading cards. You bought trading cards, you opened up, and it was almost like that excitement of what that could possibly be, brought that back, and we added that to our platform.
Yeah, you get to buy different players, buy different packs, you get those players. Then it sounds like, you know, based on their actual stats, they kind of go up and down in value. You can put them on a marketplace if you want to sell them. So there's a fantasy element too.
Yeah, no, there's a fantasy element. It's almost visualize it as like a stock market for players where, like you said, if LeBron is having a triple-double and he's on a tear this week, his stock levels, his values are going to go up. It's no different than with Tesla. If they have the announcement with the robocars, their stock goes up, right? Or if it's a player that's having, like if Nikola Jokic has been having a bunch of bad games since coming back from injuries and his numbers have declined and dipped, his share price value will dip, right? And we're opening a secondary market where we make it where you can buy and sell shares of the players. And that kind of makes it exciting, where for me, it's always about how can I further enhance the game, but really enhance viewership. And I think creating this platform, not only it's a great gamification and fun, but also drives people to actually watch more basketball live in action.
Yeah, I love that. And then you mentioned at the top of this, it's a prediction market. Obviously, everyone is talking prediction markets right now. What I love is we're starting to see a lot of kind of niche prediction markets come out. You know basketball better than almost anybody. So the idea that someone could come to your platform, make some predictions on how a game's going to go, how a player will act. What do you think is the unlock for the fan? Is it because they think they're a little smarter, or is it more just like trying to understand how do you have skin in the game?
Everyone's come with these niche prediction markets. But what I'm doing to take a next step further, where anyone that's been to a basketball game, you know, 20 minutes before the game, if you look on the screen in the monitor, they're like, here's the player matchup for tonight. It'll take two players and it'll be like a head-to-head matchup. But now imagine now with these players, shares, and stocks, you're able to even join these head-to-head matchups, which we will create for every game, every night. We'll have player-to-player matchup where, give an example, if the Celtics are playing the Clippers, Jaylen Brown versus Kawhi Leonard. You have Jaylen Brown shares and you have Kawhi Leonard shares, where you're going to go at it, be able to compete against each other and make your prediction of who's going to have the better line or better stat line that game. And it's almost no different. It's like a winner take all, where you're going to go get somebody else, PvP, and then winner takes all. And then we'll have great mechanics behind it where you incentivize people, right? How can I just like elevate and take things to another level in this this great run that we're having with the prediction market platforms?
I think a lot about whether it's watches, whether it's sneakers, whether it's fantasy, right? It's like those people who dig and they really try to understand like the nuance. They want to play their own version of Moneyball, but like, you know, they want to get their insights. But we live in a culture now where everyone can kind of put that to work, right? And like, you know, figure out how you can either make money, make status, build a social following. What do you think it is about just like general culture that means like, is everything a gambling market these days?
Everything since we've been little tykes to being adults, it's always been a game within the game, is what I like to call it. But now I think we're realizing that almost anything can be a form of competition where you can monetize it and create a market where people can make money. Creating Basketball.fun, it was like, what are the areas that we argue about at the barbershop all the time? Who's the better player? Who's going to get more rebounds? Who's winning a championship? All right. The other competition, whether it's Polymark or Calci, they've created team versus team. But I'm like, okay, step further now. Player versus player, rebound versus rebound, blocks versus blocks. Like, let's really peel back the layer and let's create a platform where the guys that are at home that watch ball 24/7 can flex. And we're going to create leaderboards where you can show off. You can come to your friends and say, like, listen, man, I've been the biggest winner in Basketball.fun this week. You see my numbers. Because I think for me, what would make me happy, and like if you said, like, what would be your dream to have as someone that experienced the platform would be, I would love for a guy to be able to show his success, but then have him create his own social media following, his own live stream, his own media platform where he's talking hoops, and eventually he becomes more popular than the guys on ESPN, right? If you look at iShow, Speed, Kai Cenat, they're more tapped into the culture than, you know, your E Network or your True Hollywood every night. Like, we used to go to those networks for entertainment information on what's going on in the world. Now we go on social media and find out what's hip and what's going on in the entertainment industry.
I love that. Last question for you. You are someone who already plays at an elite level when it comes to your sport. What are you going to do to win this world, right? I know you are someone who wants to compete. How are you going to succeed with Basketball.fun?
What I'm gonna do is just create something new and organic and authentic, right? It's something that hasn't been done, but I think it's gonna inspire guys, right? I think, you know, I've been so blessed and fortunate to have the career that I've had. And I tell people, like, this journey of mine is no different than me being a rookie, getting drafted in the first round and figuring out how can I be a valuable asset to a franchise, in this case, to a space that I'm super excited about, very new. It's almost like when Lisa Leslie was one of the first women to ever be in the WNBA, right? Like, being that pioneer, being different than everyone else. And I accept that responsibility. And that's why I take it with a lot of care. And that's why if you've seen everything that I've done, I've been very careful, because there's been other people that have come from my world that have been extractive and haven't had the best interest at heart for what the space needs to get to that level where we all are hoping it gets to, right? So it's kind of me just being an evangelist in the space and bringing that new young flair, the new kid on the block.
I love it. Well, Tristan, you've always been a great advocate for the industry. You've done the work yourself, and I really appreciate that. Every conversation is always really insightful. So good luck on this. Congratulations. We'll definitely keep checking in, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for taking the time and having me on the platform. Really appreciate it.